It's just a family thing, the heart song that we sing. No troubles everywhere, somehow we just don't care. We don't always agree. A light from you and you from me. Around the table, living out loud life.
Hey, good evening and welcome to season 3 of Living Out Loud Live. I'm Vicky, middle-aged fairy effing princess, transgender lesbian wife, mother, sister, friend, activist, feminist, LGBTQIA plus member and defender, part of the Orlando Come Out with Pride transgender and non-binary task force, and one of the producers of the show you're going to love or hate, depending on which side of the dipstick MAGA gap you stand on. With me are, as always, are my beyond amazing co-creators, collaborators, partners in crime. In short, my co-host sisters and closest dearest friends, Jamie and Laura. Jamie, please go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Jamie Jara. I'm a high school history teacher, founder of nonprofit organizations Mom for Hope, Dads for Hope, and I'm a mom of 3 amazing kids, 2 boys, Jaden and Jackson, and 1 sweet girl, Dempsey, who just turned 13 and who also happens to be transgender. My husband Dennis and I, along with our kids, have been featured on high-profile news media highlighting our journey. With our resilient daughter, we founded our nonprofit to help mobilize and offer to support other parents on a similar journey. And together we seek to comfort and lead with light through this difficult environment.
Oof, so difficult.
Yes. Right now, absolutely.
So let me introduce myself. I am Laura. I am Laura of Living Out Loud with Laura. Let's see. Since I have had to go on a chronic illness journey, I've had to step back from a lot of the things that I used to do to advocate it out physically. And I am trying very hard to be a positive online presence where I am providing support and tips to help teach people how they too can learn to be loud, proud allies and accomplices. And I'm the mother to 2 beautiful adult LGBTQIA plus children. One of my daughters is pansexual and the other one is transgender polyamorous lesbian. So like she's trying to collect all the letters on that one. She is what brought me to, she's the one that is what brought me to my switching gears. I used to be pretty dang conservative prior to 2018, and I've done an about face, and I want to make sure people understand that it's okay to learn, listen, and adjust your thoughts. So I'm hoping to be able to teach other parents and loved ones how to love their LGBTQIA plus children out loud.
Excellent. Thank you, ladies. Every week, we invite you to eavesdrop on our virtual Girls' Night Out, where if there's tea to spill or trash to talk, you know we will. All of our opinions are just that, our opinions. So if you're easily offended, we're going to offend you. We are not intended for younger audiences. We are interactive through our online chat. And sometimes we do invite friends into the studio. Definitely not all the time. We are chatty sisters with a lot to say. So, but if you do comment, please include your name because we don't, it doesn't always come through to the system that we use to do the show. So that's a little weird. Anyways, with all that, I think it's time we get going.
I am here to hear your song, to share the joys and the defeats, 'cause that's what sisters do. That's just who we are. Around the table, we boom.
So it's been a few weeks again, and it's my fault this time. I apologize. I was recovering from my top surgery, which we discussed the last time we were all together, and I got a really bad infection with a shard of glass deep in my foot, and I ended up in the hospital for a week and had to have surgery. So tonight I'm post antibiotics, and I'm having some box wine and getting ready for the holiday celebration. What else is going on out there, and what are we drinking tonight, Laura?
Well, I actually have switched it up a little bit this evening. I am having an iced hot chocolate with coffee, and I put some Baileys in it. So I'm not sure what you call it, but it's very yummy and caffeinated. As for me, I've been having a lot of fun getting ready for Christmas. Um, I just finally let people know that I started making earrings as a hobby. So if you run into me out in the world, please ask me for a pair of earrings. I do nothing with them. It's a hobby. I'd love to gift them to people just because. So feel free, please ask me for them. That's about it. Although I do want to just mention one thing, because I am a little self-conscious about it. Part of my Ehlers-Danlos, when I am not feeling well and I get in a flare, I get something called raccoon eyes. And they're very bad right now. And I have as much foundation and concealer and everything possibly on them. But I promise you, I've not been punched in the face. They are not bruises. I just, it is what it is. So I'm very, very self-conscious about it. I normally wear very big sunglasses.
Jamie?
Oh, I'm one day away from Christmas vacation. Yeah,
Desperately needed.
the last day of school is tomorrow. I got told I was doing a presentation when we returned from school that I wasn't aware I was giving. What else? My car is in the shop because a lawnmower flew over the median and hit my car, and that's an amazing amount of money I'm going to have to spend. My oven broke, and I have people coming in from New York for Christmas. And so there's that. It's been a very expensive, exhausting week for me. But I am very much looking forward to tomorrow. I think the fastest time I'll make it to my classroom door, if I time it, will be tomorrow. I'm planning on getting out of there before the students. So if anybody from my school is watching, I may or may not leave before the bell rings. So there's that.
And wanted to say hello.
I didn't change up my regular. I'm still drinking wine, and I gave myself an extra pour because no one's home.
Oh yeah,
glass.
Nobody's home to assist.
Yeah, it's a good night tonight. Debbie and I went to high school together at Lutheran High School. So Debbie, welcome. And she also mentioned she follows Laura. That's great. Barbara, good to see you. Welcome. Nelson, great.
Nelson,
It's wonderful. Wonderful to
last
see
time
everybody.
we had karate together.
Love it. It's going to be a fun night. To add on to what's going on, we are getting ready for our second annual New Year's Eve party, which is going to be a disco glam, elegant, and family-friendly party. We still have a few spots left. So if you're on my Facebook friends list, please let me know if you're able to attend. I'll add you to the invite. A couple of big updates. First of all, we are having a robot bartender mixing up old fashions, cosmopolitans, and espresso martinis and margaritas for the event. Second, food has been decided. We are having a taco bar, ground beef, chicken, and fajita vegetables, along with rice and beans. And we'll have salad if anybody just wants to make a salad. If you're already on the guest list, please let me know what your final tally of pluses is and what you will bring side dish or dessert-wise. And finally, I got this rather cryptic message in our mailbox with our party logo on it. And it says basically, "Dear Ladybug Sisters, I have found a way into your New Year's Eve party. One of my enemies is there and I plan to murder them and frame you and your friends for it. There will be panic at the house of Ladybug for sure." So we will definitely be having a
Panic at the Disco.
A Ladybug Angels murder mystery party. If you're on the invite, I put up the list of possible roles you could play if you want to participate. I'm hoping everybody will. So, and there will be more instructions, but go ahead and take a look through and see what it is. Yeah, so we got a lot going on. And with that, I think we're going to go to starting out our main topic for tonight. So,
Wonderful.
video, here we go.
Allies and accomplices play a vital role in the fight for equality and justice for the transgender and broader LGBTQIA+ community. But what is the difference between being an ally and being an accomplice? And why is action, especially from cisgender accomplices, so urgently needed right now? An ally is someone who supports a cause, who uplifts the voices of marginalized communities and stands in solidarity. Allies amplify our stories, use inclusive language, and challenge discrimination in their daily lives. But an accomplice? That's different. An accomplice doesn't just stand in solidarity. They take action. They risk their own comfort, privilege, and sometimes safety to actively dismantle systems of oppression. Accomplices join us on the front lines of protests, in courtrooms, and in legislative chambers. They understand that their role isn't just to support, but to help protect us and fight alongside us. Today, transgender people are under attack like never before. From laws criminalizing gender-affirming care to bills targeting our existence in public spaces, the stakes couldn't be higher. For many of us, non-compliance with these laws could mean arrest or worse. This is where cisgender accomplices must step up. Laws targeting marginalized groups are often designed to isolate and silence them. But when accomplices, especially cisgender ones, stand shoulder to shoulder with us, those systems of oppression are disrupted. Your privilege can shield us, but only if you choose to use it. Show up at protests, call out injustice even when it's uncomfortable. Speak to your legislators, educate your family and community. These actions aren't optional, they're necessary. History has shown us that fascist governments don't stop at one group. Once they have decimated a single marginalized community, they find another manufactured enemy to keep control. Today, it's transgender people. Tomorrow, it could be someone else. The fight for transgender rights is a fight for all of our humanity. So I ask you, are you an ally or are you an accomplice? Let your actions answer. Stand with us, fight with us, and together, let's build a future where no one has to fight alone. Join local protests. Support organizations fighting anti-trans legislation. Speak up in your communities. And most importantly, take action. Equality is not a privilege, it's a right. Stand with us.
Yeah, I think that pretty much sums up kind of where we're at.
It does.
And hopefully that's clear enough. I mean, there's several examples of everything that's been going on, especially here in Florida with a lot of the legislation. And now with some of the bills that are passing in Washington, some of the exclusionary tactics that are being put into play, even for the congressional, building that where the it's amazing that we are on this kick where it's easier to marginalize and vilify us. And I work for Disney, full disclosure. We had some stuff happen this week that where Disney made a statement where it's actually caused horrible ripples internally with people like me who are transgender, wondering where the company stands. And I've had now 12 different people message me going, what's going on and what can I expect? And I can't reveal too much. I have some insight into it, but we can talk about that as well. But is that explanation clear enough? Are there any other examples that we can help people differentiate?
I think I want to try to tackle it from a little bit of a different stance. I think the allies and accomplices are great, but I'm going to kind of change it a little bit. I think what a lot of people don't understand are that allies are part of the LGBTQIA plus community. They're a big part of that. But I think that has gotten misconstrued into where people just believe that I don't have a problem with LGBTQIA people, so therefore I'm an ally. So I think activist and accomplice is probably a better word for those who are actually really a part of the LGBTQIA plus community. And I think when you become so entrenched within the community as a cis person, and that's all I can say, because I'm speaking for myself, I think that is when you switch over to being an accomplice, because you feel like you're one of the rainbow community.
I
Yeah,
agree
but
with
you-
you. I agree with you, Laura. But I also think that maybe there should be ally, activist, and accomplice, because I think if you look in history, if you look at, for example, Nazi Germany, right? The classification would be someone behind closed doors saying to their spouse, you know, this is not right, but we're not going to do anything about it to risk our safety. You have people who will openly speak about it, and then you have the accomplices that are hiding people in their attic. So I think there is a very big differentiation between the three. I think there are three. I think a lot of people like to call themselves allies because you're like, I don't have a problem with LGBTQ.
That's
people.
exactly. That's
You
not.
know? Yeah.
That's trying to be like Switzerland,
Yeah.
which even
Yeah.
they picked a side.
Exactly, because you're not really accomplishing anything by, you know, sitting behind your closed door and saying, you know, I don't have a problem with LGBTQ people. Well, that's fine. That's wonderful, actually,
Yep.
except that you're not actually doing anything to make it better for the people that have to live in this community. So, yeah.
Yes.
Yep. And welcome, Andrea. Glad you're home and recovering. That's
Yes.
super, super exciting. And I know I've talked to you. I'm so happy for you. You know, I won't say what happened, but very happy for you. And yes,
Can we talk about Darren Soto? Because I mean, we're not.
Yeah,
Can we talk about this and break this down?
the
'Cause I would
defense
really like
bill.
to.
The defense bill is horrific, because we had 37 Democrats who are supposed to be on our side, some who are members of the LGBTQIA plus caucus,
Mhm.
actually vote in favor of this defense funding bill, which the Republicans put in deliberately, anti-trans family legislation, so that
And
military
as
parents.
a military family,
Yeah.
a daughter, because I'm a daughter and I'm a mother, I'm so freaking offended by this. You have no idea.
And
Right,
if it does, you know, it's on the desk of President Biden now. And if it does pass, it will be the first federal legislation against trans people.
Yeah,
So
but-
there's that too. And the fact that I've met Darren Soto many times. He's met Dempsey. I've been in award ceremonies where he's given awards to our Andrea, who is just commenting. And to me, it's such a slap in the face that you would claim to be a supporter and then vote for this. And I don't like to harp on the negative, so I'm going to put it out there of the people who didn't vote for it. So I do want to give a round of applause for Maxwell Frost, for example, who for me, when I saw it, I was like, you know what, I really need to get to know him better, because I know Darren Soto, but I guess I didn't really know him. You know what I mean? Like these people that are putting on this performative show of who they are, but it's not really who they are, because they don't really care.
Yeah,
But
and
still,
the worst part about it was it was going to pass anyways. It was
Yeah.
literally going to pass anyways. We didn't have the numbers to stop it,
Yep.
but the
And-
the fact is that they so quickly wanted to show that they weren't part of the transgender woke. You know, that now the Republicans have so dehumanized and villainized us that
And-
people believe that literally, you know, we're in restrooms waiting to pounce on women and children, that we're doing transgender surgeries in school. And Jamie, God bless you for all the surgeries that you're doing on a weekly basis. That, you know, we're there trying to bring kids to, you know,
see, these are the
indoctrinate
people,
kids.
though, when we say that we need to write our Congress and we need to call our representatives, these are the people. We know that there are some on the Republican Party. You will never change no matter what you do. You need to let these people who supposedly stood for us, we voted for, we walked for, know that what they did was wrong. We don't appreciate it. And We want an explanation, and everybody needs to do that. You need to call them, write them, text them, whatever form of communication is best for you. That is an accomplice action we need right now.
Absolutely. And I for me, everything is always historical because that's how I think.
Yes.
And
I love that.
We're looking at this period of time where you're having trans people be villainized, and you're having all of these lies, these fabrications, these outright things that we know are absolutely wrong. But if you compare it, I'm going to keep going back to Nazi Germany because I can't not do it. They were spreading propaganda that Jewish people were drinking children's blood. And that was a real thing. And people believed it. People believed it.
Well, not to
And
mention
so they were hiding their children away. Just like they're, trans people are going to attack people in the bathroom. No, we're just trying to go to the bathroom.
Jamie,
Yep.
if I'm understanding also, I believe in Nazi Germany, they had a lot of research about the LGBTQIA plus community, specifically trans people, that even at that time, so even back then, they decided to try to whack it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first book burning was not, the first target was not the Jewish community. The first target was the LGBTQIA plus community, and particularly transgender. There were over 200 clubs in Berlin that were dedicated to LGBTQIA. There was a huge research library that the Hitler Youth, before Hitler became chancellor and eventually Führer, chancellor to Führer, president to dictating king asshole. Before that happened, the first books that they were burning were the research on gay, lesbian, and transgender people. That there was a huge, because it was so free in Berlin at the time, and they again did the exact same thing. It was a threat to children. It was a threat to we were going to bring down the way of life of Germany. It was villainizing us as a gateway drug. And then when they realized there weren't that many of us to attack, that's when they went after the Jewish people, because they had money, and Hitler wanted to be able to take everything that they had easily, throw them in concentration camps, confiscate everything that they had. Whereas, transgender people were just, or LGBTQI plus people, there weren't that many of us, and there still aren't. Even the most, the largest percentage right now says we're less, still around 1% of the population. That's amazing that, they're saying that we are indoctrinating, that we are growing, that this is a fad, that this is, and yet we're not.
No. And I saw a meme the other day that actually spoke to me about that. And it was like, well, there's never been transgender people. Why am I just hearing about them? Like, well, you probably didn't hear about Antarctica since before 1820, but it's always been there. So, I mean, I think that that is very much true. And I think that I think what we just saw in that bumper really speaks to me about, there will always be, when they annihilate one group, they will move on to another group. And who is the next group going to be? I mean, we already know what groups are on the chopping block, right?
And I was actually going to ask you that, because if it's going to repeat itself, if there's only 1%, they're going to have to go over to somebody bigger. So
well, you can see in who they're trying to affect. So you can see people of color, and you can break it down into different groups. But, Black folks, you talk about, Hispanic folks, they're also on the chopping block. They've been on the chopping block. It's no secret there. And so they're just taking, the trans community is easy to target, one, because people don't understand, period. And then you can kind of make it sound so bad, like these people are so way above, beyond the norm, right? It's a little harder to try to humanize your neighbor, right?
Yeah.
Most people don't know a trans person. Let's be honest. 1% of the population, we're talking millions and millions of people in this country. I'm lucky enough to know many, but most people don't know any. And so, or they don't think they know any, or someone's hiding in the closet and is not out, and can't be. So I don't know. It's kind of like a gambling game on who they're going to attack next, but they will, and they do. And historically, that is always what they've done. And it is, that story that they come for me, and well, but it's not me, but I don't have anybody left to protect me because everybody's gone and they've taken everyone away. And so
Right.
what I think people need to understand in part of being more than an ally and maybe not an accomplice, but maybe an activist, is that all of us are at jeopardy. All of our humanity, everything we are as people is up for grabs right now. And I don't know. Me personally, along with you ladies, I'd like to be on the right side of history. And doesn't mean I need to be in a book, because I don't care about that. But I just want people to be good. I believe people can be good.
I need to be able to look my grandchildren in the eyes and tell them what I did to try to actually stand up for the values that I believe in, which is one nation under all. I don't even believe the God part, but I believe that we're all supposed to be treated with justice for all, and we're supposed to, and you know what? And somebody wrote this in the Constitution. One of them says that the pursuit of happiness, right?
Mhm.
Isn't that embedded in the Constitution?
Yes, it is. It
Well,
is.
if Vicky is happy, if Andre is happy, if Dempsey's happy, if my Ruth is happy, then isn't that embedded in their rights then, that they have the pursuit to be happy? And if that makes them happy and it is not illy affecting anyone in any sort of way, then isn't it going against their rights? Like, I just don't understand how that doesn't work for everybody.
Yeah, and rights aside, I'm gonna share this really quickly, if I can, if it will work. 'Cause it's slow, of course. So where I work, Disney had a major announcement. The company announced they were the first Pixar long form for Disney Plus is a 8-episode about youth sports, about this team
I saw it.
of misfits and outsiders.
Like the Bad News Bears, right? Like
It's
that
called
kind of-
It's Win or Lose. It's basically the Bad News Bears.
Okay.
And each one of the kids has something different about them that
Mhm.
then they come together and it makes a huge difference. Well, they decided after market research to strip the transgender storyline. So now one of the characters is just going to be a cis white girl.
But it was a trans girl that
It was
playing
supposed to be a
the-
trans girl, and that's
I
what made
saw
her
the-
different. That was her differentiator. And we talk all the time about we don't want to be pushed because it's convenient. We want to be pushed when it makes sense. This was the perfect opportunity for them to do the right thing
and they didn't.
and push a narration where somebody was struggling and it was different and somebody needed to be themselves and was fighting against
Representation
that.
matters.
Mhm.
Right.
Representation matters.
But they cut
But
it.
because of the change in direction after the election, and they can say what they want, it's bullshit. Because of the $200 million in anti-trans messaging that the fucking Republicans used to spin everything. There was an anti-abortion bill in Ohio, I believe, that they were trying to put billboards on saying, stop transgender surgeries in school. It had nothing to fucking do with trans rights. Sorry. But they still were using that messaging to try and change that bill. And the company, which has sworn up and down, left and right, that they support us, is literally backing off, kowtowing, and and it's the same thing with our news division, by the way. They're bending the knee to fucking Donald
They are
Trump.
all scared that they're going to be attacked next. And let's face it, when
Which means that they're not accomplices, because
correct.
accomplices are willing to give up their privilege.
Exactly, and use their privilege.
Exactly.
And you know, a lot of people, I still say this. I know that one of the hard things that I had to understand when I unkarened myself was that privilege is not a bad word. Everybody does have privilege. It doesn't mean that it's the people living in the $1 million homes that have privilege. Everybody does have a little bit of privilege in different ways. So, but you have to be willing to take your privilege and use it for good, not for bad. You have to be willing, like you said, to put it on the line, like stand there. You know, during the Black Lives Matter protests way back, that's not even that long ago, but in Oregon, the moms were out there standing in solidarity. And I just remember thinking I would be one of those moms now. Now, before I wouldn't have, I would have sat my happy ass inside my house. But now I would have been out there trying to protect the kids like that. They have every right to do that. And now they're even trying to stop any type of,
What I think
striking. I think we
what I
lost
think
Vicky.
yes, we lost Vicky, but what I think upsets me more is with Disney, is that Disney has taken stands before, massive ones, like against DeSantis, and they have done it before. And the fact that they are cowering on this and they cut that storyline, it cuts deep. It
Oh,
hurts.
it cuts very deep. It does.
Yeah,
Cuts very, very
it's
deep.
it's not it's
And you
not
know, the fact that Disney itself has a trans family member.
yeah one
mean,
of the
that just-
grandchildren. Yep.
Yeah. And that just makes me wonder, like, did they get their sign off on it? Did they say, hey, is it okay for us to do this? Is your wallet more important
I don't
than
know.
your
I mean,
your identity?
let's look at Elon Musk.
Ugh.
Elon Musk has a trans kid.
I know, he's horrible. And his mother
So-
going on TV saying, even if you can't afford to have children, have them anyway. Hold on. I just thought the Republicans were screaming, don't have children if you can't afford them. They need to get their storyline straight. I'm
Yeah,
very
well,
sorry.
they're not always consistent. They just kind of do, you know. I can't believe we lost Vicky. Folks, for all of you out there, we lost Vicky. She's our producer. She's usually our nod to like go to the next segment. And so now it's just Laura and I, and
Yeah,
we're just
we're
kinda
kind of
hanging
like
out.
ad-libbing this right now. And, you know, we'll do our best.
Yes.
You know, we're fun and entertaining.
How are you doing on your drink? I'm doing good.
I'm pretty good.
Oh,
God,
John
Vicky-
just said, she is.
Sorry about that. My computer totally locked up. I guess it was all my profanity.
Well,
Um,
John just commented that Disney came for you.
Yeah, no, fuck them. Yeah, no. I have had so many people reach out and ask, why, and what does this signal? And what it does signal is that Disney is going to try and fly under the radar. Disney is going to not try to ruffle feathers. Disney is going to back down when they're pushed.
Which
Because
upsets me. We would just talk when you were on break. I mean, they didn't back down with DeSantis. So it upsets me that they're picking and choosing what they're going to fight for.
I think they changed leaders in that period of time. And I think, a matter of fact, that's how that one guy got ousted.
Chapek,
think-
yes.
I think it
Yeah,
has a lot
that
to
one.
do with the presidency. I think
Oh, 100%.
when we go from state
100%.
run to federal, I think a
Mhm.
lot of people are scared. It's not changing my view, and it's not changing anything I'm going to do.
Yeah,
I think you're seeing a lot of companies, even ones that have traditionally been supportive, that are just now like, oh, we're not going to do that now. We're not going to sell Pride merchandise anymore.
They're scared
gonna
to
do
death
that.
of the ramifications that come by standing up for their principles, because let's face it, they're trying to take away FDIC. So they're literally trying to say, we're not going to insure the money that you're giving us, that we're investing. So if we lose your money, oh fucking shit, that's your
I mean,
problem.
It's funny because I was
we have two big topics so apologies. We will be back in a couple of weeks after the holidays and
Merry
after New Year's
Christmas,
Eve.
Happy holidays. Happy New Year to everybody.
Bless,
Happy
bless,
Hanukkah,
bless.
happy
And we'll see you
Christmas, happy
soon.
Kwanzaa, happy all of them.
It's just a family thing, the history we bring.